Internet friends, MagicBrad here, Synergy Cafe, Synergy Collaborative. I got my new friend Swamiji online, and we're going to talk about what he does. And are you there, Swami?
I'm here. I'm here, Brad, with my SynergyCafe.
What are you drinking? Are you drinking coffee or tea?
It's a herbal tea blend, roses and Gaducola, heart and mind.
Of course. I'm still doing the coffee and something. In Asheville, where we chatted a little bit about, there's a place called Dobra Tea. It's a very cool tea place.
Uh-huh.
Maybe we'll see you there sometime. But I found out that we're about an hour apart right now.
That's right.
We could
We
do
are
this
very
live
close.
if we wanted to drive. But...
I'll talk a little louder. You could.
There you go. So as I mentioned, I do these kind of fast, and this is just a get to know, like, and trust, and who you are, and what do you do. And first thing is, who is Swamiji? Do you have kids? You married? Who are you?
I am a monk for the past 40 years. I met my guru in India in 1988. He made me recognize me as a monk in 1990. Before that, I was teaching meditation since about 76. Basically, when I was in college, I started on my spiritual path when I was a freshman in college. My parents were in a car accident, and they passed away. They died in the crash. And I went around for a year or two trying to just sort of bounce back, and nothing happened until the college had a lecture on meditation. And in 1972, 3, 4, in there, we didn't have meditation everywhere like it is now. You know, yoga and meditation is ubiquitous, but back then the only thing we ever heard was, oh, the Beatles went to India and something happened. And so it was a big adventure for me back then. What is this thing? But I said, you know, nothing else was working. Let me try this meditation. And in an instant, suddenly I had some inner peace. And like in an instant, my life changed with my parents dying. In an instant, I got some inner peace when I tried the meditation. And it impressed me so much. When I graduated college, I decided, I really want to do this with my life and share this with people. So that was about 1976. And did that in the 80s, late 80s, I found Ayurvedic medicine. Another instant experience. I had the flu. I drank some herbs, and in an instant, I was balanced. And I didn't even know I was out of balance until I drank it. And I suddenly, and I said, oh, I got to learn about this, because nothing ever worked that fast. And just as you do these very quick interviews, my life is all about the instantaneous. And in the Amazon rainforest in 2008, I had a ceremony with the shamans there, and I got an instant download of healing hearts, and the shamans there recognized me as a natural-born shaman and healer. And so all these instances have come to the point now where I do all of this, but in an instant, I do what I call instant healing breakthroughs. I work with businesses, I work with college students, stress management, helping them get their visions, but break out of whatever the block is in an instant, literally.
Okay, that kind of goes right into the next question, is what you do. And it sounds like you teach meditation, teach yoga, and share this with other people. Is that what your profession or your occupation is?
Yeah, I think the meditation is a part of life now. It's not the standard meditation where you have to sit and close your eyes and block yourself off from the world. I feel the world has been uplifted enough that we've been given that blessing. And the idea now is to build the new era, the new golden era, the new age that the shamans talk about around the world that supposedly began around 2012. And so it's all about real time. I call it real-time meditation or real-time stress management. As you're working, you're coming up on a block, you're feeling tense, you're feeling a pain, clear it in just a few seconds and keep moving on.
Yeah, so it's sort of like living life. You're just being aware of things. When you touch a hot stove, you move your hand away. But so that's
right. It's about relationships and communication. So if you're talking with your coworker and there's some tension there, figure out. Don't blame them. Figure out what's going on in you. How can you release this? Something like that.
You know, my wife is a shaman, and she studied in Peru with some of the shamans down there. And my first trip out of the country was in the Amazon. I went to Brazil and went down the Amazon, and I kind of think maybe I should have did something like that 30 years ago. It's a long time ago when I did that. Maybe I should have done that. I'd be where you are, at peace. I'm pretty happy too.
You know, everybody is. There's a wonderful saying: if you're sincere enough, everyone and everything is your guru. So everybody's a guru. Everybody's a shaman. Everybody in their own way. You get the message out this way through media. Other people, I had a guy come and repair my furnace, and he said to me, my sense is if you wake up in the morning and you're not going to make it a better day for somebody, don't bother getting out of bed. There's another guru. It's
Sure.
everywhere, and the bird sings to me. Yesterday there was a hummingbird right in front of me with an orange throat. What a
Exactly.
gift.
That's you got to just listen. That's what we're doing here right now.
Yes.
We're spending some time in Kingston, New York, and we're just being aware of the surroundings. And it's pretty interesting to live life that way rather than going with the status quo and getting a job and all that kind of stuff that people tell you to do. So the next question is, where do you do your work? Do you like work wherever the internet takes you, or I think you do some college tours and things like that, right?
Right. I do work with the colleges and help them. I give presentations and actually take the kids, reduce their stresses. They say my stress is at an 8 out of 10. And then in a minute, do an exercise and it drops to a 4 or a 3 or a 0. And we have a lot of fun that way and show them that you don't have to, you don't have to accept blocks anymore in life. We can take control of our life. And that's been always my message. And now it's don't put it off. Do it now. Make your life better now. So I do
Exactly.
that. I work with businesses, and I'll do some travel, and I also do workshops and seminars. Where I do webinars. I have a medical intuitive training program, and I have a number of classes on that right now going on
So I
the
gotta
internet.
I gotta ask, are you interested in or are you doing any retreats in exotic locations like Costa Rica, Peru, or Bali or anything like that?
I spent 2 winters in Tobago and Grenada, and that was delightful. And I was just enjoying it. I was working with people one on one. I gave some workshops and seminars at some spas there. If you have a group of people, you can bend my arm and twist my arm, and we'll go
Well,
out there in the wintertime, sure.
well, the reason I put that out there is because that's one of my dreams, not dreams, but passions or things that I want to accomplish. Is
Right.
I spent some time in Bali, and it's got to be the most beautiful place I've ever been. Because I've been
Mm.
around different places, Hawaii, Europe, Mexico, Brazil,
Yeah.
Thailand, but Bali is
Oh, is that
just
right?
so peaceful there.
Yeah, Bali and Thailand are two of the places I would love to go.
Well, I'd like to put together some kind of retreat there and let
All
people
right. If that
experience.
if that's an
So,
invitation, I'm on board.
so here's the next question: how do you do your work? Do you do things via Skype or you do one-on-ones? And I know when you go to the colleges and stuff, you speak to
Right.
people, but is there a process how you get people to realize that you can instantaneously change your life or acclimate or be in tune? How do you do that?
I do it in person. I'll do similar to Skype sessions, one on one. I also have, like right now, I have a class I'm teaching on medical intuition. I have a class locally in town, and I have another class on the internet, and there's about 15 people. And so it's, in other words, what I'm coming to is distance healing. You can help people. Healing's not a great word because it's just a block. We're already healed. It is by distance. And for example, I have a client on the West Coast right now who had a stroke recently. And so every day they hired me to work each day, send him some work on him to help him get back. And they're amazed at his progress. One day, what I do is I email right after I'm done so that if his wife is there, she can see if she notices any changes in a moment. Because I really need validation of what I do. There's no sense just saying this is what I do if I don't know if I'm doing it.
Hmm.
So, so I said to her one day, today his crown chakra opened. And she says, "Oh, that's funny because at that time he was tapping his head and I didn't know what that meant." So that was a pretty good validation. And so I can work without the person knowing because it's just blending. It's heart blessings is what I call it. It's sending blessings. And with the right intention and a little understanding of the mechanics of energy, intuition, you feel where the energy blocks are and release them.
Yeah, early on in my spiritual path, I didn't quite grasp all this, okay, you're going to do stuff across the planet and all
Right.
that.
Oh,
But
yeah,
then the
yeah.
reality is there is no space, there is no time, and there just is. And I think a better word for healing would be awareness, where the person wakes up to, oh my God, I'm
Yeah.
fine. This is
Yes.
just a a figment of my imagination.
That's a great word. Yeah, and I call it heart blessings because
Hmm.
it's from my heart that I really want to see this planet.
Have you
Um,
studied the heart math stuff where the brain only emits about a foot and the heart goes out 8 feet?
yeah, I looked into the heart math for a while, and it's all started for me when I was in Ecuador in the Amazon rainforest when some energy came and blew into my heart, and my heart was clear, and I didn't know it wasn't clear. And I said, wow. And then I said, oh, I can do this too. And I came home and I started doing that for people. And that's when I was doing a Skype session like this with a client, and she says, oh. And I said, what's the matter? She says, I have a hiatal hernia and it's burning. So I said, oh, let me try something. I went like that. She goes, what'd you do? What'd you do? It's all better. So I started saying, I don't know what I'm doing. Everybody you want to, So I started holding sessions at the local health food store and basically doing it, but telling everybody can do this. And I had people who never even knew what intuition was, and they would say, oh, I sense a blue door. And the person says, oh, yeah, I have a blue front door. It's something we all have. So part of my message is obviously to help. But the second part, which is even more helpful, is to say we all have this. We all have these gifts.
That's really true. Like, it's amazing. I used to meditate through my head, and my head would start thinking about stuff, and that would screw stuff up, and then I'd go into my heart, and now I just kind of bypass it and just go right into the heart and think with my heart. It's kind of fascinating how that's working now. But I want to get into the final question before we only got a couple more minutes here, but that is the big why. Why is it that you chose this as a lifestyle and an occupation as opposed to maybe being a cab driver or an actor or a sculptor?
Right. It's a great question. I started off in college with radio, television, and film. When my parents' death happened, my heart just went out of everything. I didn't care about school. I used to love playing softball. I just lost dating. Nothing mattered to me. And this calling, it was really just, it found me is the answer, you know, and nothing that feels right, and everything else feels not right. That feels alive. That's my path. That's my life, my breath. And anything less than that is not.
Okay, I'm getting a lot of that when I ask people the big why. Usually they say it called them as opposed to they're not doing it consciously, it just pulled them towards them. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. So in about a minute, could you kind of give us a way to contact you? You got websites or any projects or something coming up?
Sure. I have the hipguru.com, the hipguru, HIPGURU, THEHIPGURU, thehipguru.com. And it says training or academy at the top, and there's a medical intuitive training program. There's a vital longevity program for seniors who want to rediscover longevity and age reversal. I have my newest book is The Stress-Free College Student. I wrote an Amazon bestseller, the Ayurveda Encyclopedia, that's there, and the Bhagavad Gita for Modern Times, which is a commentary on the Gita using examples from our daily life because my students couldn't understand the commentaries about chariots and bows and arrows and things like that.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I'm going to shut this bad boy off and hope we reconnect at another time, do something more in depth, possibly about a project you got going on.
Terrific.
And I will
Love to.
put links and things to this, and then I'll propagate this out to the internet. And then the whole concept of synergy is you help share it also and
And I'll put it on my social
tell the
media.
world.
Thank you,
Okay,
Brad. Blessings
Swamiji,
and joy.
very much. Thank you very much. Peace.